guess I would like to respond to that in that I had gone to this Institute of Indigenous Language that's Tucson, Arizona, and there were many people that came in there where they had experiences of teaching their language and the effect it had on their society. Like the ones that well, again, I didn't know about it, but they had these Hawaiian families come in where they learned to speak their language in a family context, and they all got along better because, again, they weren't sitting watching TV all the time, right? I mean, that's pretty obvious, but I mean, this actual learning of the language and that revitalized their whole group. And well, I guess it went further in Hawaii because their language then became required as a second language there. But I think also, like I said, these things should have been tagged into this residential school compensation. Like, again, sometimes while we can make our own efforts and do what we can about promoting our culture and teaching language, it really does help when there is, like what I call, a type of redress of our Indigenous rights, like that, in a way of our language. Like, again, as you noticed, Canada, was kind of not even taking part in that UNN type of declaration. So again, at a maybe a larger level, we also have to work because it is difficult for some elders, like some of them are at the end of their years, if they're disabled, they're very fearful people. And the idea of, like me, I don't even like when people keep talking about creators if it's some, entity that's just hovering around you all the time, I mean, I think, well, to me that's not even keeping the sacred idea of what a creator is. So I generally say crater, because that's my way of making it all understandable. And somewhere in the moon, there's a crater. And that is something that I might respect because, again, when you know that there's a crater, you got to fill it, right? You got to get busy. And I always felt when people are always wanting to talk to this creator, they want someone to do something for them instead of them saying, oh, just reporting in, I'm very busy, talk to you later, Like in the prayer, it's sort of, they're not taking enough responsibility. So I think this is the problem. That's why I really think sometimes working with the older people, especially on an emotional level, would help them be able to take in some new ideas besides bingo. Because bingo is really safe for people, and there are other things, well, who knows how some older people are being abused right now. The pictures, the stories have not even come in about that. But all I can say is with these people in our community that are not being able to move, we have to have some other ways to, I guess, interact with them. And I'm hoping for this kind of language revival that I saw. Like, for instance, they have people that come from Mexico, as Mexico has lots of Indigenous languages there, and they come to that, there's a place actually, I think it's, well, it's not exactly in Arizona, but it's connected with that, where people are invited to write novels in their own language. The reason they do that is because the novels are better than a dictionary, because dictionary just kind of says, oh, this is a meaning of this, but the novels actually show people how the words and stories are used. So again, this is a larger activity in a way, and then we have our disappointments, I guess, that we must face on this local level sometimes, even within our own family. Like me, I probably still would be called Moniaque, because, and again, some reference to, although it has nothing to do with being white, but I mean, I would be referred to as being some sort of outsider, and that's in my own family. My blood relatives are saying that to me. So these are disappointments in our family, and we still need to, work at that level as well.
Thank you. I've been just notified that we're out of time, so, oh, I'm sorry, can we take one more? Is that okay, Tasha? Okay, so we'll...
I was going to say, like, if I were to make a personal story about someone's life, which would the process be? Would I have to go out and find a producer, or would it come by me? And would I have to write it myself?
film
talking
or
about film or like a biography?
a book?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh,
Is this
okay.
pretty much speaks about it in your life?
Well, I guess one of the things about getting someone else to write it is that either that person who is opting to do that would do it voluntarily. If they do it for pay, you couldn't afford it. It would just be like it's a lot of money to get somebody to write someone's story. So either you write it yourself, get someone to volunteer, or pay somebody to do it.
Can I just say one thing, though?
Sure.
One thing is, after Marie spoke, she made me think of something. You know, right now we're at a really critical period because the medium is changing as well. And I noticed you had here publishing opportunities. And I recently just finished the film, and I was putting the music to it, and it opened up a whole other world for me. Because it got me into the world of hip-hop, which I knew nothing about. And there are a ton of Aboriginal people out there doing hip-hop now, and it's just open. So there's a lot of writers. We just don't see them publishing the so-called text as we normally think it. They're doing other things. And I think that's something else we should, hopefully somebody else will pick up when we have more time, but that's something else should be thrown into the mix because there's this whole other medium out there.
Thank you. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank our panel members for all their words. I think we all have a lot to reflect on. I will invite you to speak with them after the session. I want to thank the Sitsica High School for bringing their students out. It's great to see you guys. Thanks for coming, and thanks to all of you. So thank you.
So just a brief reminder that our next event is the First Nations Student Association public reading.